What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Student Loan Planner channel. Today, we're going to be chatting about what rich physicians always do. And on the flip side, we're going to talk about what rich physicians never do. I've got a good list for us to review today, so let's hop right straight into it. Now, we have to kick it off with student loans, right? What rich physicians always do is they get on the right student loan plan for them, never leaving free money behind. Now, the student loan system is pretty complicated, as we know. We talk about quite a bit of the complexity here on this channel.
Complicated.
Physicians, a lot of times, do qualify for public service loan forgiveness. That's one of the programs that we'd like to take advantage of if we're going to be staying in a nonprofit hospital system, or working for a government setting, or teaching, being in a public service capacity. And if we're planning on that path with our career, we better be taking advantage of public service loan forgiveness. Now, not to say that everyone's got to do that. Not all physicians are going to be eligible. Not all physicians need to be eligible. There are some really great private sector opportunities, even practice ownership opportunities for physicians that you shouldn't let your student loans dictate, right? If you want to go that path, don't let PSLF be the golden handcuffs that keep you in the system. Now, there's also forgiveness opportunities for longer term plans, like the income-driven repayment plans. They have forgiveness available with them if it makes sense to still pursue forgiveness with your loan plan, or it might just make sense to pay the loans off, to maybe look at refinancing. But a smart physician, a rich physician, knows what their plan is for student loans and how to execute on that to save the most money so they could put that savings elsewhere, right? So another thing that ties into our next little tidbit here, rich physicians always save at least 20% of their income. Let's talk about savings. So what are you saving for? That's up to you. What are your goals? What are your objectives? What do you want to be working towards? Let's also talk about retirement. I know that's a long ways away for some folks who are maybe just getting started in the financial planning journey, but it's going to be the biggest bill that you're ever going to pay, retirement, right? And you want to stop working at some point. So let's give yourself the option. Let's save at least 20% of your income, so that can go into your 401k plan at work. It can go into IRAs or Roth IRAs that you can open up independently. You could save in a brokerage account, a non-retirement investment account. You can be saving in your high-yield savings account for other shorter-term goals. There's lots of things we could do to be saving our money, and 20% is kind of that golden floor. So let's get there. Now, next up, that rich physicians always do is they carefully review their options at open enrollment with your employer.
Plus benefits.
So your employer is going to have some options that you can opt into for benefits. That's health insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, malpractice insurance. The list goes on. You want to make sure you're taking advantage of everything that you should be taking advantage of, right? There's a laundry list of things that you could be looking at. What are the continuing education and licensing benefits that you have through work? What about loan repayment assistance? How can we layer that into our student loan plan to help us save even more? Are there any signing bonuses or relocation bonuses? What kind of wellness programs do they have?
Pay me.
What about child care and parental leave if you're looking at expanding your family? And then, of course, retirement benefits. What are they going to be paying into your retirement? Are they matching contributions into your 401k plan? Is there some kind of pension plan or a defined benefit plan? Lots of things to consider.
It's one of the benefits of working here.
And you want to make sure you, becoming a rich physician, are taking advantage of the things that you have access to. Next up, rich physicians always look into tax loss harvesting in their taxable accounts and avoid wash sales. Now, always is a strong word here. You are probably going to need to save more than what you're able to put into your retirement accounts because there are limits on how much you can contribute to a 401k, to IRAs, and that is likely going to be less than 20% of your income for what the maximum is that you can contribute to those accounts. So you're going to be needing to lean on a brokerage account or a non-retirement account, also called a taxable account, to contribute to be able to supplement your savings and to work towards saving 20% of your income and building your wealth. This is a taxable account, though.
Taxes, taxes, taxes.
So taxes are a big deal, and we need to make sure that we're being as tax efficient as possible. So tax loss harvesting is a strategy that you can use to take advantage of when the market is going down, let's say.
Investment stuff.
And sell positions and purchase a similar position to keep you invested in the market. But the reason you would do this is to take advantage strategically of losses, because you only realize a loss when you're invested in the market when you sell that position. Best example I can give, or best kind of visual I can give to tee this up, is think about investing in the stock market as you on an escalator.
Escalator.
Going up to the second floor, playing with a yo-yo. So you're playing with the yo-yo, it's going up and down, but you're on an escalator going up, right? So that's the market. Long term, we're going to go up. That is the end result. That's what's going to happen. That's historically what's happened long term. But along the way, we're going to see some ebbs and flows, ups and downs. That's why, like, you look at your statements and there's a different value, month to month or quarter to quarter outside of like what you've contributed. It's because the market's fluctuating. And so what we can do is we can take advantage of when a fund like that you're invested in isn't doing as hot. Maybe it's lost some money or lost, in the market so far. What we could do is we could sell that position and immediately reinvest it in something different. So we're still invested, but we sell that position to take advantage of the loss. Because why? Well, the whole point is here, you can write off losses.
That's a write-off? Yeah.
So just like we earn money on gains and we have to pay taxes on those gains, we can write off losses up to $3,000 a year. So it's not a huge amount of savings, but it can really add up, because you can bank these losses over time and have it count against any kind of capital gain in the future. So if you sell a house, you make a ton of money on the house because of inflation.
Okay, ready? Inflate.
Appreciation within that property. You can use this to count against those capital gains, which is pretty cool. There are many different ways you could go about doing this. You can do it on your own. You can hire a professional to do this for you. There's robo-advisors out there that might do this for you. Key is you want to avoid wash sales, and you want to make sure you're actually doing it, right? You have to be monitoring the market, monitoring what's going on in your account. So this is a more active strategy, I would say, versus a set it and forget it kind of strategy. But rich physicians out there, they will save dollars on taxes, and this is one of those ways that we can do that. Next up on the list is calling your mother. This is kind of a joke, but for real, if you haven't called your mom or your family member or your favorite person in this world in a while, you haven't seen them in a while, give them a call. It'll do your soul a good favor, and it'll make you rich inside. Bonus for our practice owners, or for those that are looking into practice ownership, own the building that you practice in. That might be something to consider to make sure that you're doing smart things that rich physicians do.
The gift of total ownership.
Now on the flip side, let's talk about things that rich physicians never do. So these are things we want to avoid like the plague. We want to avoid spending more than we have to on insurance. Now, insurance is not a fun topic anyways. It's stuff that you hope you never have to use, but is necessary to have. So insurance can be considered a commodity. You want to have good insurance. You want to make sure that they pay you when you need the benefit. So that's important. The strength of the company is very important, but make sure you're doing your due diligence and shopping your insurances to make sure that you are getting a good deal on what coverage you have, and you have the appropriate amount that you need. Another thing that rich physicians never do is trust fate instead of making an estate plan. Estate planning sounds pretty foo-foo, rich. It sounds very complicated, but it doesn't have to be.
Look, you're rich.
Estate planning just means that you are getting your things in order, just in case you're not here to be able to do those things yourself. Now, that could mean you're incapacitated. That could mean you have passed away prematurely. That can mean a number of different things, but you're not able to make those decisions for yourself. So those estate planning documents are essential to have to make sure that things happen how you would want them to happen if you were around to make those decisions. So some free estate planning could be making sure that all of your beneficiaries are up to date on your life insurances, on your bank accounts, your investment accounts. Make sure you have beneficiaries listed exactly how you want them to be listed. You could change these at any point in time. If you haven't taken a look at them in a while, go ahead and take a look now just to make sure it's who you want it to be.
Beneficiary.
Right, beneficiary.
Now, an interesting note is a will is kind of like guidelines to the court system to tell people how you wanted your assets to be distributed. But the beneficiary is the end all be all. That's who the money is going to go to if they're listed as a beneficiary. The will does not override the beneficiary. Beneficiary elections override the will. The will kind of catches everything else that might be smaller, like small personal items or things like that.
She left me a box of stuff.
Other estate planning documents you need to make sure that you've got, and rich physicians certainly do, is a durable power of attorney. This gives someone the authority to manage your financial and legal matters if you become incapacitated. This includes paying your bills, because who's going to pay them if you can't? Managing your bank accounts and making investment decisions on your behalf. Another legal document you want in your folder is healthcare power of attorney. A healthcare POA designates a trusted person to make those medical decisions for you. You're a physician. You know what this means. You've seen what happens when people don't have this on file. Make sure that you protect your own interests here and make sure that your healthcare wishes are carried out how you want them to be if you're incapacitated. A couple other documents you might want to chat with your estate planning attorney about would be a revocable living trust, maybe a living will. These are things you want to make sure that you've got locked and ready to go, and that's certainly what a rich physician would do. Next up, and to be a little funny, rich physicians never get divorced. Divorce is expensive. Let's take that into account. There are some legal documents you can have in place before marriage to protect yourself and your interests.
The prenup.
But in all seriousness, rich physicians never spend all of their money on paying off student loans. They enjoy the fruits of their labor. That's the last one I'll leave you with. Having the right student loan plan in place is super important. I talked about this at the beginning of the video. You certainly want to make sure that you've got the right game plan for you, saving yourself the most money, but also being smart about integrating it in with the rest of your financial plan. You don't want to be spending years and lots of dollars going down the wrong path when you could get the right plan in place today. So schedule with us if you need a one-on-one consultation. We are certainly here to help you figure out your student loan plan.
Did you hire me?
We can walk through all those details with you and make sure you're off to the races to becoming a rich physician. Thanks for watching.